Compare that to gusts over 30 this afternoon. We'll have more on this nor'easter and when the sun will be back ahead.
Some people in Quincy with a sinking feeling when they walk down into their basements today. Several feet of water waiting for them, and as the rain falls tonight, they're still trying to dry out. In fact, 7's Amanda Grace is standing in one of those Quincy basements right now. Amanda.
Well, Kim, what looked like a swimming pool earlier this morning, now more just like a big puddle. And that's really thanks to DPW crews who came through this neighborhood, pumped out a lot of these basements. Still, just take a look at the mess this left behind. Everything from laundry to speakers, all this, it's just going to have to be trashed.
It wasn't just junk, soaked, submerged, and strewn around Gene Griffin's basement.
The hardest part is losing your pictures, yeah, of course.
It was 25 years of memories.
Oh, this my boy. You know, it's a shame.
Their basement was filled with up to 6 feet of water.
Swimming right here.
Just like their neighbors.
I cried.
Some pumps stopped working when power was cut off as a precaution after midnight. Water heaters and washing machines done for.
We started to bring stuff upstairs and then just had to cry uncle.
It all happened overnight when nearby Blacks Creek overflowed after days of downpours and high tide. But some blame the tide gates.
My guess is nobody put them down or up or whatever they do.
That may be true. That may be the problem here. We're not 100% sure. In either case, in the coming months, that tie gate will be completely replaced.
Not soon enough for neighbors now cleaning up with no heat, no hot water, no power, and worse, no end to the rain anytime soon.
Now, the creek that flooded and caused all this mess, it runs all the way to Wollaston Beach, and high tide coming up any moment now. So homeowners here, well, they're just bracing for another pretty tense night after a very soggy day. We're live in Quincy. Amanda Grace, 7 News 19.
But of course, it's not just the coast. This storm is causing problems pretty much everywhere. Check out Boston's South End, where a tree blew over. Just missed this car right here. And then take a look at Situate, where the tide was very high on Hummerock Beach today. Waves crashing over the seawalls and washing into some nearby homes. And be sure to tune in too Today in New England. We're going to bring you the very latest on the storm, plus all the trouble spots on the road. Of course, we all get started at 5 a.m.
Also from the night team, shock and sadness in Springfield.
We grieve this remarkable officer. Officer Ambrose made the ultimate sacrifice.
Tonight, the latest on an officer killed in the line of duty.
That officer was shot and killed responding to the scene of a domestic dispute. Police say the shooter critically injured his girlfriend and then turned the gun on himself. 7's Susan Tran is in Springfield tonight with the latest.
Kim, Officer Kevin Ambrose was a 36-year veteran of the police force, and he just came to the department because a woman was afraid of her boyfriend. Now, when he got here, he escorted them up to the 3rd floor, and that's when police say that that boyfriend not only shot and killed the officer, shot his girlfriend, and then took his own life.
I was like kind of scared, but I did go upstairs, but I didn't go all the way. And I just saw the cop laying down sideways. You know, he was looking to the wall.
Desiree Romero heard several gunshots. Then there was a knock on her door.
She was very scared. She was crying. She was saying the cop got shot. And then she said, my niece and her baby's upstairs.
She called 911, then went upstairs to find veteran Springfield police officer Kevin Ambrose on the ground.
Yeah, I wanted to do something, but I didn't, you know, I couldn't. I didn't dare to touch him. I didn't dare to say, are you okay? You know, I was afraid that the guy was inside. So I just ran back down.
Police say gunman Sean Bryan is a New York corrections officer, and 45 minutes before the shooting, his girlfriend took out a restraining order against him, telling officials he had sent her a text saying, "I'm going to make you wish you were not born." So when he showed up at her Springfield apartment, she called police. Officer Ambrose arrived to help, and the three went upstairs. That's when police say Bryan shoved his girlfriend into the apartment and shut the door, leaving the officer in the hall. Officer Ambrose tried to get into apartment 3, but then gunfire.
Sean Bryan then shot Officer Ambrose through the door, striking him once. Mr. Bryan then opened the door and shot the officer again.
Police say he shot his girlfriend, then ran off, only to kill himself in his car. A deadly day that's leaving law enforcement from Springfield to New York saddened by the news.
When you lose a comrade, it's sad, but when you lose a comrade in the law enforcement community, it's even worse, especially when it's involving another law enforcement officer.
And Officer Kevin Ambrose
And Officer Kevin Ambrose leaves behind a wife, 2 children, and a granddaughter. As for the girlfriend, we last heard that she was out of surgery, but still in critical condition. For now, we're live in Springfield. Susan Tran, 7 News 19.
And we are following more news tonight as police search for the suspect in a deadly shooting in Cambridge. People gathered tonight at the scene on Willow Street, placing candles, balloons, and messages where 2 teenage girls were shot. They were hit in a drive-by shooting. Police say they were not the intended targets, and that has